Do you guys remember Ricky the Ruko? Or Ruko Ricky, I think is what I called him in the video. This is our F11GIM2 drone that Ruko reached out a few months ago and sent us, asking us to do a review. Well, Ruko has reached back out to us with a new product that they've just released a few weeks ago that goes hand in hand with this drone that I hold right here in my hand. Well, actually, this new product goes hand in hand with pretty much any drone that you want to fly, but it also goes hand in hand with a bunch of different activities. So let me put Ricky away, and I'm going to introduce you guys to the Ruko R299 Power Station. All right, guys, well, here it is. Oh, what was that? This is the Ruko R299 Power Station that they reached out to us and sent us and asked us if we would be interested in doing a review. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty cool on the box? One of the nice features about this power station is that it only weighs like 8.5 pounds, so it's the perfect size to take along on a drone excursion. Well, let's get this sucker out of the box and see what we got here. Let's put some eyes on this. So I'm opening up the box. It's covered with this piece of foam, which is nice. It comes with an instruction manual. This is the power station itself. It's not that big, but it packs a punch. And then finally, we've got a box of goodies. So let me get this box out of the way. Our box is out of the way. All right, so first of all, let's look at this box of goodies and see what we got here. You guys know I'm horrible about open boxes, and I tear them up every time I try. So let's open this up here. So what do we got here? We've got, looks like a charging cord for a cigarette style 12-volt outlet. And then we've got a charging cord. I think this is a two-piece. This probably goes into the converter there. I guess it goes like that. And this is for an AC charging outlet. So very cool. I've got both of those types of outlets in this truck here, by the way. All right, let me get this area cleaned up. I really like the look of this power station. I love the handle. The handle feels really strong. It's got a really good grip to it. It's got a piece of hard rubber here that you can grab a hold. Actually, it's soft rubber that you can grab a hold of, and it feels really good in the hand. It says right here it's got 330 watts, which means it's capable of producing 330 watts of power. That might not sound like much, but when you're using this to charge up electronics and things like that, that's plenty of power for you. I like too how this handle folds down and it creates this flat surface right here. That's going to be a wireless charging station for your phone. So that's a really cool touch. Well, let's see what it offers here. Let me get a little bit closer to the camera. We've got 2 or 3 USB-A slots. We've got a USB-C slot. Here's a cigarette style 12-volt outlet. Well, on the side here, it also offers an AV outlet. It's only got one single outlet. I think there's a reason for that. More than likely, it's so they don't tempt somebody like me to plug in too many things and to overload the system. Well, let's turn this on for the first time and see if it's got any charge. So we turn it on. It's got a pretty cool looking display. I can't really see it though because it's too close to the camera. So we've got 54% battery life left, I guess. I guess they ship it with that. In the manual I was reading, they say if you're going to store it, to keep it at 50%. That way you're not, I guess, working the batteries too much, or you're not storing a dead battery. Here's the button for the light to turn on and off. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you guys right here what this light looks like. So I'll push the button once and the light comes on. That seems pretty bright, even though we're outside. But I think if you push it twice, it'll start the SOS. Now that can be important, especially for somebody like me. I forgot to mention this. Right here is the output reading for the USB ports. But if you turn the AC, there's a button right here for the AC power. If you turn the AC power on, the AC power output indicator comes on too. So you'll be able to monitor the amount of power that you're using from this power station, whether you're using your USB ports or you're using the AV outlet over here. Now I did put Ricky back away in his case right here, but I'm going to get it back out because I want to make sure what the screen does whenever it's being used. So we're going to try to charge one of his batteries. We've got one of Ricky's batteries and we've got one of his charging cables. So I'm going to plug the charging cable in here, put the battery right here, and I'm going to, I guess, use number 1. And let's see what it reads. It's basically reading that it's putting out 4 watts of power, 2 watts, 6 watts, 10 watts. So it's using 10 watts of the 330 watts that it's got available. So that's really nothing. I don't know how long it would take to charge these batteries with this power station, but I'm pretty certain it would be just like plugging it into an outlet, right? Well, guess what? I just so happen to have a phone charger in the truck too. I mean, I guess everybody has phone chargers in their vehicles, but I'm going to plug in the iPhone and we're going to see what it does whenever there's 2 things charging. So we'll just plug that into number 2. And now we've got an iPhone and a battery charging, and it's using a whopping 17 watts. Hopefully you guys can see that in the screen. So it's got plenty of juice, I think, to charge up anything that you want to charge, and then some. Well, like I was saying before, one of my favorite features about this power station that most power stations, or a lot of power stations, don't have is this LED light on the back of it. It's 6,000 lumens in brightness. It's got a smart feature on it that after 3 hours of not being bothered or not being touched, the light will shut itself off. So if you got this light on and you fall asleep or something, and you don't touch any of these USB outlets or the AV outlet on the side, the light will turn itself off, it'll go into a sleep mode, and it'll conserve power. All right, so we're gonna try that out. Let me turn the light on here. All right, let me set a timer. All right, I am kidding again. What do you guys think of me charging this thing up all the way, taking it into the shed, and seeing what power tools we can use with it? I think that's a great idea. Well, I want to look in the user manual here and take a look at some safety features that it's got before we go into the shed and I show you what it can and can't do. Well, hopefully it can do. If I can find it again. I should have marked it. Where's it at? I don't know. Ah, here it is. There's a question here listed in the frequently asked questions. It's question number 6. And this is kind of important. It says, does the R299 Power Station have any self-protection features? The answer is yes. It includes overload protection, short circuit protection, and overcurrent protection. My interpretation here is that if you try to overwork this thing, it's going to shut itself down. This thing's going to fit in the Werther Roberts family really, really well. Well, guys, I think that's enough of the overview for this. Let's get it out into the shed and let's see what it can do. So here I am in my shed. Don't judge me, but this is my setup. I know it's kind of weird, but I've got the power station setting up on my vise, and I've got my iPhone peering in on the numbers. I don't know if you can see that in the camera here, but you will be able to in the GoPro or in the telephone footage. But I'm going to plug different things in, and I'm going to pay attention to those numbers and see what it can and can't do. We're going to try to overload this thing and see what happens. So what should we use first? Should we try to charge some batteries? I've got my 18-volt DeWalt battery charger here. I'm going to plug it into the power station. It's plugged into the outlet. Here, I'll show you. It's plugged into the outlet here. And I'm going to plug in one battery. These are, of course, aftermarket batteries because I'm poor. And let's see what happens here. The light is not coming on. I wonder why. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't turn this on. Now I'm going to hit record on my phone here. So now we're recording on my phone. I'm going to hit AC on. And what does it show? It shows 0 watts right now. Let me come back over here, and it's showing that it's charging. It's charging the battery up. Oh, we come back over here, and it's at 57 watts. So if I plugged in several batteries, I guess, that would be 330 watts. Okay, we're going to unplug this charger. We're going to do something else. And it's back down to 0. Well, let's plug in the DeWalt Sawzall and see what happens. I don't know how much power this thing really takes. But I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to hit the trigger, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so let's go. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it looks like it maxed out because it was at 348 volts. And it shut itself off. I guess we've already demonstrated what this thing can and can't do, right? It's nice to see that the safety feature actually works, though. Let me unplug the Sawzall, and we'll see what else we can really run. A lot of power, buddy. How about a cutoff wheel? Plug this in and try it. I really don't think this is going to work. All right, we got it plugged in. Let's see what it does. It's only got one speed. Oh, I got to turn the power back on. It's got one speed. Let me see what it does. Immediately shuts it down. I guess these power tools are just too powerful for it. Let's lastly try this DeWalt drill here, this corded drill. Let me plug it in. All right, let me turn the power back on. And here we go. So far, so good. We're only at 2630 watts. Oh, 305 watts. I think it's going to go, I think it's going to die. How is it still running? 256 watts. I guess it'll run the drill. I guess it'll run the drill. That's a good thing. I thought for sure it was going to go off whenever it hit 348. Guys, it's hot in here. I'm going to try one last thing. I want to plug in a fan, see how much power it takes. All right, we've got our blower fan here. We've got it in the off position, And we've got it plugged in to the power station right there. Well, let me turn the fan on. I'll start with low and we'll see if we can work our way up to high. So here we go. We're on 0. Let's go to number 1. What's the wattage that we're at right now? We're at 94 watts, 90-ish watts. All right, so position number 1's good. Let's go to position number 2. Position number 2 is working its way up. It's at 115, 107. That's not bad. And this fan blows out some good air too. Number 3, this is as high as it'll go. We're at 144 watts. So I think we found something that this power station can control or can power without fail. Guys, I know we found some limitations for this, but that's a good thing. Basically what we can use this for in the shop is we can charge batteries and we can use a fan, and that's really all that I ask. I've got outlets for the rest of the stuff. Now let's do this. Let's go back to the truck so we can have a conclusion. We can get into the air conditioning because I'm sweating like a pig. That didn't work, did it? Take 38. I'm going to interject here before we go to the truck for one more test. Now, I want to show you guys my charging area. This is where I normally charge all of my batteries for my cameras and my drones and all that stuff before I go out for a test. Well, I've replaced that power strip over there with the power station. And look at all the stuff I've got plugged in here. I've got Ricky the Ruko. I've got the Mini 4 Pro controller. I've got the Mini 2 batteries. I've got my cell phone. I've got the Mini 4 Pro batteries. I've got the Hover Air batteries. I've got the Rode wireless mic. I've got one of them because I'm wearing one right now. I've got 2 GoPro batteries plugged in. And then I've also got a DJI Mini 2 charger plugged in. I've got a lot of these things plugged into this external power source, whatever it is, but I've got it plugged into the USB, or I'm sorry, to the AC outlet. And everything else I've got plugged into the USB ports. So let's turn this R299 power station on and see if it can handle all this stuff. Let's see if it can charge all of our batteries at the same time. So I'm going to turn on the USB side first. And if you can see that, it says 72 watts, 73 watts. So I'm going to turn on the AC power, and this is going to start charging everything else. We are at a whopping, it's too bright I think for you to see in the camera, but I think it's 96 watts total, 95 watts total. Wow, that doesn't seem like very much power, does it? Voila, there you have it. Good job, Ruko. What about this? Will it charge the e-scooter? Let's plug it in and find out. Well, as you can see here, I got the scooter plugged in, and I've got it running to the AC outlet on the R299 Ruko Power Station. I'm recording the screen with my iPhone because that's an easier way for you guys to see it. And I'm going to turn on the power, and we're going to see if this thing's going to charge up the e-scooter. So I got to hit the AC power. I'm going to record this light right here as it kicks on. So it's kicked on, it's red, it's charging, and it's 162, 163 watts. Well, it's good to know that the power station can handle the scooter, and it can also handle all these batteries that are back here behind me. I think it can handle everything all at once if we just had enough outlets. Well guys, what did you think of that demo? I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with it. Just understand, I am not an expert with power stations. I don't know what any of those numbers mean as far as the USB outlets and all that. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not really an expert in anything, but I do know that it's nice to have some backup power when you need it. Now with all that said, if you're interested in finding more information about this Ruko R299 power station, click the link in the description and it'll take you straight to their website. Don't forget to also check out their line of drones like Ricky. He's our F11GIM2, and they've also got a Mini as well, the F11Mini. It's really cool stuff, guys. But anyway, let us know in the comments if you'd like to see a follow-up video, maybe on Ricky or on the R299 power station, once we get some real time on it and see what it can really do. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. God bless.